Okay, I think we can start. Hi, Tanishka. Thanks for joining as well. I think we can start. It's right on time, and welcome everybody to this new Microcks community meeting. If I'm correct, that's number 38. And by the way,
Already.
yeah, already we've done quite a lot for a few years. So yeah, twice a month. So that's starting to become a number, let's say. And by the way, I can share for the one who don't know. All these calls are recorded. They are all pushed and streamed again the week after, and you can retrieve all the previous community meeting on the Microcks YouTube channel. Sorry. So if you go on YouTube at Microcks, check live, and here you have the recording of all the live session and community meeting that we have done in the past. So feel free to check it out and check the previous recording. Again, we are not streaming live anymore due to an issue on between Restream and Zoom. So the call is recording, and next week, same day, same hour, we'll broadcast this recording, and it will appear on the YouTube channel plus LinkedIn as an event. So that's just as a recap, and don't hesitate to check the material on video as well on YouTube channel. Always good to have a few thumbs up on some of this video if you find it useful. All right, so stop sharing my screen and ready to start. If there is anyone who is attending this meeting who would like to raise a point, I think we'll be more than happy to give you, let's say, the stage and priority. If you have anything you would like to raise, question, issue, something you would like to discuss, feel free to take the mic and say what you would like to share with the community.
Like I created some issue in Microcks MCP server. Like I would like to know about the view. Can you give me the feedback? Is it easy to work it or no?
Yeah, that's a good point because I think it's a topic that has been initiated a few months ago. And so, do you have a specific point on the MCP server itself, or is it something you like to contribute on?
Due to network issue, I can't get it. Could you repeat?
Sorry, you can do what? I don't think that.
Could you repeat the questions? Like I don't get it, the questions.
Uh, because I think you were dealing about the Microcks MCP server, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And my question is, what is your point? What do you have a question? Would like to contribute to it? Do you have a pending issue or PR or points on it? What would you like to raise, let's say?
Like like I raised the issue in like Microcks MCP in GitHub. If you could like review the issue, like give me the feedback, then I would appreciate this. Like, is it helpful or not?
Um,
Like I have read the current implementation, like Microcks import
mhm.
airpack is currently like 31 line sub that just returns hard-coded success message like the but I want to know about like I created some issue about like aircraft like by adding some features in micro MCP server that will I think that will be helpful for
Yes, but actually, I think that all the development around the MCP server should be discussed because we were very hyped about providing an MCP server for Microcks, but then we realized that there was also some members in the communities that took the other way around and develop skills for Microcks. And so at that moment, we put a hold on the MCP server development because we wanted to, let's say, to be sure it's the right path to go. You know that in the community there are large discussions about MCP servers versus skills. And so we put a hold at this moment because we wanted to be sure we chose the right battle, let's say. So if you're an AI enthusiast, maybe it could be nice to, let's say, start a discussion on how you would like to use Microcks, either through MCP server, either through skills, or some other way to do so. And we have some people in the communities that are already very opinionated on this, and could be nice, yes, let's say to start again this discussion and to see what's the next smart move to do for Microcks. Because we also discussed with Sébastien, that is another maintainer, to start a new repository for trying to collect, to gather all these different skills or AI plugins that people are writing at the moment. So it's a very broad topic, and we wanted to be sure, yes, we picked the right battle. So at the moment, I'm not very into skills development, so I'm not really able to judge this. But I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from people that have opinion on this and like to share them.
Thank you.
So that's also mean that today we have this issue. That's what you were dealing with. And as you
Yes.
can see, there's a lot of question and answers, comments, and stuff like that. So we notice clearly your PR here.
Yeah.
But I think what we need to do, Laurent, is to put that on hold as a comment and engage with the community on more, let's say, discussion and communication around it.
Yeah.
So then it can avoid people like you, Gayan, who are pushing a PR and thinking that it's the right time to code, let's say. We are more, let's say, still in checking the pros and cons, IEDs, and the path to make it happen.
Yeah, and typically one of our mistakes is that we didn't put more information into the issue, and we followed this conversation in private mode with Sebastian. So Sebastian typically was very hyped about MCP server, and then he started to do tests using skills or asking agent to generate skills based on the Microx CLI, and it looks like it basically works, and it required less work with deployment. It's from Sebastian's point of view easier to add skills to your repo. It's easier than downloading and running an MCP server alongside your development environment. So yeah, basically I think we need to restart this discussion to see where to go next.
And for the one who don't know, Sébastien de Godez is also a Microcks maintainer. You can see it in the maintainer markdown file that we have within all the Microcks repo. So I think that's a good point. Thanks for raising this one. And Laurent, with Sébastien, we are taking the action to let's say clarify the situation over here.
Yeah.
We are not saying that we're not going to provide an MCP server, because we're also a strong promoter of MCP on another project, let's say, which is, for the one who don't know, which is named Reshaper. But regarding Microcks adopters and usages and so on, we like to see, let's say, where the priority is based on usages. That's clear for you, Jayan, and sorry for not have been put that clear up front, because we You have already provided some work, so sorry for that. We are not saying that this is useless and never going to be checked, but we need to, let's say, align upfront on where we put the priorities, let's say.
Thanks for clarifying.
Thanks to you. Okay, any other question like this one, or anything from people who are with us today? So if not, maybe we can move forward on some of a topic and what we can share today. And again, feel free to raise your hand if you have any question on that. The first thing, let me see, that I can share, because that has been validated, let's say, quite recently, is the events where we're going to be present during the summertime. So I will be in India, back to Bangalore after, I think the last time it was 2 or 3 years ago, for the same event, by the way, which is at API Days. So it's in mid of August in Bangalore. I will be at the event full time, planning to do a talk on MCP and Reshaper, by the way. But of course, more than happy to be in touch with the local community, any Microcks adopters or people who have some interest on Reshaper. Please don't hesitate to reach out, send me a DM or contact me the way you would like, and I'm on LinkedIn, social, anywhere, to schedule meetings or have appointment. And for the local community, and we know our let's say, growing, the Indian community is growing a lot, and we are very happy about it. Feel free to contact me if you need some help to get a ticket, for example, because I think there's a specific price for that, but we may have some discount. I'll need to check with the organizer of the event. But if you would like to attend, and if you have some budget issue, contact me as well. More than happy to see you during the event, engage with the local community, and also I hope be able to meet some of you. And I think it's always better to put a face and name and meet in person when we can. We love that. So just working on the schedule, working on all the planning and my planned trip and so on. It's not everything's not fully booked, but I'm 100% sure to join the event at the moment. So reach out if you plan to do it, and if you would like to have a conversation. So that's regarding the event. Otherwise, I think we're also going to take some vacation with Laurent during the summertime. And as in France, we usually quite have a lot of vacation, let's say. With Laurent, we are very responsible regarding the project, but we also need to take some some rest and spare time with the family. Laurent will be off, I think, for the coming 2 weeks.
Yes, coming 2 weeks, exactly.
So expect it's quite usually the case, to be honest, over here, at least over Europe, that summertime is more low from an activity point of view. Sometimes, especially when we are away from the keyboard, let's say. But it's also for us a very good period to innovate and do testing on quite a lot of stuff that were in the to-do list and on which we have not been able, let's say, to move forward. So we'll do our best to follow up and catch up regarding all the community activity, but expect, especially for the coming 2 weeks and also for July and maybe beginning of August, some delay on some PR review and stuff like that. apart from that, I think we don't have that much, let's say, new information to share. I don't know, Laurent, if you have any point to raise regarding the Microcks activities, features, and stuff like that.
Maybe the major one is that we shipped the 1.15 candidate release candidate number one, so it was 10 days ago, and things seems to be quite stable. We don't get any feedbacks that things were not working as expected. Since then, we fixed some bugs and put some enhancements mainly on the GraphQL side. We had nice contributions regarding how to bring errors, extensions, and also fragments, nested fragment support into GraphQL. So this is something that will be integrated in 1.15 final. And this one should land maybe today, this afternoon, or tomorrow, just before the vacation. So this is, let's say, an important thing because this means that we will not put new features into the 1.15 stream, except obviously bug fixes, and if we realize that some things are not working the way they should do, if we put a regression or something. And also it means that I will start a new issue that is related to the scope definition on the Microcks 1.16. So during this summer, if you have any ideas, if you made some experiment, if you think that you identified some missing features in Microcks, please take the time to yes, to put a comment on the Microcks 1.16 scope definition so that we will be able to integrate, or at least to discuss the integration of this feature in the next release.
Yeah, and it's also regarding the release candidate because it's something that we covered during the previous community meeting, but not many new features, as you said, but a major upgrade on all the core component and framework of Microcks. And that was a long process and hard work and call to action to the community. When we are saying you can test it, remember there's a nightly build of Microcks. And if you are a Microcks adopter, people who are focused on QA and so on, please test it and help us to ensure that we have not, break anything and it's still working as expected, because it's a major upgrade on all the key components, and it has generated a lot of, let's say, changes, and I think Laurent can discuss that further if it's necessary. But please test the nightly build as well and help and join the community for this purpose, because that's important. Regarding GraphQL, because this contribution is new features is great. It's also showcase that GraphQL is growing, and we have Microcks adopters who are, let's say, you easily use GraphQL and some specificities of GraphQL, which is also a very good sign. For the latest years, we didn't know that much who is using Microcks for GraphQL, and now we clearly have a very good traction on GraphQL, which is also a good sign. And based on what I said previously regarding summertime, next release based on the release cadence, yes, feel free to join the conversation. For example, the MCP server, skills, all that stuff. That's maybe time. It's not maybe, it's a time to take decision and if it can join or not the next release. That's exactly the cycle for this purpose. All right. Now, shall we do? Oh, Tanishka, you raise your hand, so please take the mic.
Yeah, so good morning, y'all. So I have a question like, are we having some projects for this LFX term, or like we should find out and raise on the Discord? So Are you having any projects in your mind?
You mean for term 3, the new one?
Yeah, term 3.
Okay. Not identified any project, to be honest, so far. But I didn't check, by the way, the deadlines and so on. You know that we have a mentorship ongoing on the Microcks CLI. We know that Arsh and we have
Vaishnav.
Vaishnav, yes, Vishnav and Arsh are quite busy on it. And remember that there are community members who are doing that on top of their, let's say, daily job. So we need to check all together if there is a new project. And if you have ideas, please
Yeah.
raise it and share the ideas and the projects you may have. I'm sure that, at certain point of time, maybe us are maybe not the best person at certain point of time to think about new project to add, due to the fact that we are sometimes so focused on the core component and what we need to deliver. So if you have any idea, please raise your hand. Open conversation on Discord. We have a dedicated channel for this purpose. And let's see if we open it as a new project. And if some of you would like to become mentor, like what we have done for the Microcks CLI, please raise your hand as well. That's very, very useful for us because it's always hard to add new activity and task based on what we are doing already on a daily basis, let's say.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And if I can add something, and one thing we realized in the previous LFX terms mentorship is that we absolutely want to have, let's say, autonomous people who are really dedicated to the, let's say, to the topic and to the project, at least during this period of mentorship. So I really think it's better when people comes and say, "Hey, I really love to work on this topic, and this is how I see things. This is how we can define the scope." And I think it's better than having us thinking about scopes, about ideas, and then just people picking their, let's say, not that dedicated regarding how they, yes, how they are, yes, dedicated to the topic, basically. So feel free to, yes, to share ideas and to suggest topic.
yeah, and I'm writing live on Discord. We have a dedicated mentorship channel. So I'm writing live a comment, and let's open a thread on that. And Anishka, feel free to raise your hand and join the conversation on it. And especially if you would like to become a mentee and mentor, and if you have project ideas that we can elaborate on.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for that. Um, okay. What else? Laurent, we have discussed previously about maybe checking, issues, pending stuff, PR or issues in stealth mode and so on. Maybe do a triage live. Do you think that it's relevant to do it now?
Yes, we can do so, at least on the, let's say, the ones that are identified as stale or
Yeah,
invalid, just explaining why it's stale and or why we did not pick it up at the moment. So
yeah, it
I
can
can
be
share my
useful.
screen and we can have a discussion based on that. So here you should be able to see my screen. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just considering the main repo at the moment. I know that there are lots and lots of issues on the CLI1 and PR on the CLI1, but it was my intent, let's say, to let Harsh, but it's now code owner and maintainer on the CLI, and also mentors on the LFX project, to just yes, keep everything under control in the CLI. So I will just address the main repo here. And maybe can start by the, let's say, the end.
Yeah, because we have some at the end which are quite hard, let's say. But
Yeah,
at least it's good that we explain why.
exactly. So let's the oldest one. So this one much more a call to the community. So you may know that we have different protocol bindings when supporting async API mocking and testing. And so at some point we thought that AMQP 1.0 was a nice protocol to support. So some people raised their hand at some moment, but actually we didn't find right now someone that would like to contribute or to participate within with the elaboration of this feature. So for the moment, it is just marked as keep open, and let's see. Maybe we can explain that when we are putting new features in Microcks, it's really because we have an adapter that needs it and that will champion the test, the validation, maybe the design up front of the feature. So if you're interested in having AMQP, please raise your hand and we'll see how to prioritize this. But otherwise, it will stay as keep open.
Yeah, and I think we'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I would say it's exactly the same stuff with IBM MQ protocol. Here we did a bit more work because we splitted the epic story in different sub-issues, because at some point someone started to work on this, but then unfortunately let it go. So here the different these four issues here that are marked as parts are related to this one that is the epic, because it was at the time we didn't have sub issues into GitHub, so they are just identified as epic.
Yeah, I'll just write a comment, maybe to update that and see if call to action to adopters, if you need it, if you expect that to come within Microcks, please let us know, raise your hand, and offer as well your support. We need people to be engaged, especially if you need it and plan to use it. We need people who can test it, For the IBM point, it's clearly one of the case, because we don't have access to this type of software. We cannot test it on our own, which means we clearly need to have people fully engaged on the way it's going to be, let's say, tested, validated, in order to make it as efficient as any other binding.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so pursuing on issues. So we have this one. Need support to order the APIs during test executions. And this is actually, let's say, a tough topic, because it redefines the way Microcks was designed at first. So typically, when we are doing tests in Microcks, we are doing, let's say, we are not doing business functional test or workflow test. We are just doing single interaction style test. That means that we are testing one operation at a time, and we don't expect to have any specific ordering between operations. And so people were wondering if, for example, they have a create operation and then a retrieve operation and then a delete operation. They wanted this operation to be executed in a specific order, and that's not the case at the moment. So that's not the case because it was not the initial intent. We had several discussions on this and several propositions on how to maybe offer a minimal support of this, but not really have a consensus on the way to do this. So it could be just adding, let's say, a basic testing between the verbs, assuming the post operation, for example, in REST, should be done before the put operation, and then before the get operation, and before finally the delete one. This should cover 80% of the different scenarios. Or we can also provide some additional annotation for providing a weight on different operation and then ordering the test by weight, this kind of stuff. So if you also feel that this must be addressed, that you have a specific opinion on how to do this, please jump and make this thread alive again so that we will be able to finally decide how to do things and maybe to plan it for a next release. So here we're just keeping this open.
Yeah.
This one is interesting because this is something that should be done actually, because we have some Microcks REST APIs that don't follow the best practices. So typically here, when we are uploading an artifact, we are not returning back the complete service entity. So this seems to be obvious, but this is a breaking change for a number of CI or CLI plugin, like Jenkins plugin, like the Tecton one, and like the CLI, of course. So this need to be actually very well coordinated between the different release of the different submodules. So maybe this is something we should report on the other repo as well. But yes, definitely needs coordination. So if you want to work on the core on one of those plugin repo, here again, this one is just waiting to be revived again. Yes. Mock server mocks import. So if I remember correctly, mock server is another mocking solution, and people wanted to be able to import mock servers to Microcks. So we also had Roberto that contributed this tool here. We discussed about moving this to something like Microcks community or Microcks community tools. But finally, yes, we never had the follow-up with Roberto on this. So could be nice also to revive this to see if Roberto is still open to contribute this, at least having this agreement, and if someone is also interested or having the mock server to Microcks migration, this is definitely a nice issue to pick.
Yeah, I'm putting a comment to ask him if he have any update on that. And yeah, as we said, that could be a great contribution for the community repo from a tooling point of view. For as a reminder, the dedicated community repo is where you can find all the stuff which are shared and maintained by the community, and we have a tool directory for this purpose. So
Yeah.
let's put it over here, and I
But
hope that Roberto can join on that.
I think here in this case, it's up to us. We didn't answer latest Roberto questions.
Yeah, as well.
I would say our mistakes on this one. Okay. Here we had several issues around announcement for better messages to AI assistants and so on and so forth. So here again, I think these are, let's say, not minor ones, but less important than the other ones that are, but they are left aside. So quite easy to pick up a new one and to deal with it. Yes, we had also this discussion about let me figure out. Oh yes, it was about I think it was about securing the access to the mock. In fact, the title is not very relevant, but along the discussion we realized that the initial need was to secure the access to the mock. And so her position until now was much more that this is not the role of Microcks to do this because security schemes on top of APIs may be very, very different. And so it will be, if we start implementing this, it will be really difficult, let's say, to cover all the different cases and to have everyone happy with it. And so our answer until now was to do this by putting some API gateway or another security mechanisms on top of Microcks, in front of Microcks in your mock invocation chain. So could be also worth to explain this again, but yeah.
And just because yeah, that's also an old topic, let's say. But the fact that this has been raised from Afanas, the fact that for him doesn't introduce any breaking changes. What do you think about that? Because seem to and it doesn't seem to be clear, let's say, on when this clearly could happen. But not sure that we have, let's say, find a consensus on that, let's say.
Yeah, I think we should yes, reading again the last comments, I think we should at least state what is our position today regarding how to secure the access to the mocks, and then yes, try to close properly this one with our, let's say, our position as of today.
Yeah, and we can also illustrate it because this is a question that we have many times, but most of the adopters, and we have public references like GSMA, for example, and they sort it out as you said, and something that we have explained quite a few times, but maybe we can write it down here. The fact that it's usually managed at the gateway layer upfront, Microcks, and that's where you can secure your mock endpoint and do all the stuff that you need. And for us, it should not be tightly linked with Microcks itself.
Yeah. Okay. We have that one that is about the support of Async API version 2.6.0. And I just fixed the title because 2.6.0 was supported, but it was not correctly displayed into the UI. Because within Microcks UI, we are embedding the Async API web components that are responsible for displaying the spec. and it was not working with 260. And I don't remember exactly the thread because at some point it was an issue with their web components. But it could be nice, yes, to let's say to pick this one again and to maybe do an upgrade on the different web component, this one specifically, and this one. And let's see how things are working with the latest version of the spec. And I would tend to think that now we are way after the async API 3.0 and 3.1 release. Maybe we shouldn't care at all about 2.6 or 2.4 or 2.2 or whatever, and just be sure that async API 3.x spec are correctly rendered on the UI. That's it.
The next one is on Apache Pulsar. And this one is, yeah, it's quite,
Yes. And
this one is quite funny as well because it's typically the request from people who are requesting something, but they are not using Microcks today.
yes.
And they may use it if we support Pulsar, but they have not provided any help for this purpose. So honestly, I think we should just ask if anyone is interested in that and would like to provide some help and support to make it happen. If not, let's close it because it's just a single request that we receive from people who are not using Microcks today.
Not closing it, but keeping it open like we do for IBM MQ, IMQP, and so on, because I still think this is valuable. It would be a valuable
It is.
enhancement. So, uh,
It is valuable, but as long as people need it and are using it. And today, I think that's the only request that we have had. So, yeah, maybe we can keep it, but at certain point of time, we also, I think, makes sense from my point of view to remove the stuff which not going to happen due to lack of interest from the community, let's say.
yeah, but let's do it. Let's do a final call here.
Yeah, all right.
We need a champion to help in let's say developing is optional, let's say, but validating, documenting, and communicating on this.
And testing.
So
we
yes,
need people who are going to really use it for real, let's say.
Yes. Using for real, let's say. So we are open to adding it, but we need a champion.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, clearly.
Yes, and developing is optional, so let's keep the brackets here. Okay. Interesting one. Why do Microcks compose its own MongoDB Kafka chart instead of public chart from Bitnami?
Well, I think we have had quite a lot of changes this latest month regarding Bitnami. So
yeah, so obviously there are this one. Bitnami changed a bit, and most of the charts are no longer free. So in any case, if we choose to integrate some of those charts, it wouldn't be those from Bitnami. That said, when we decided to integrate MongoDB Kafka, we Yes, we have a discussions at that moment on what level of support we would like to have. And basically we decided that yes, we will provide MongoDB, Kafka, and so on for let's say ease of use, convenient purpose only. And we absolutely don't want to be responsible and to be yes to be responsible of the support on those different components, third-party components. So we decided to provide them, but not in a, let's say, in a production-ready way of doing things. So you can install MongoDB, Keycloak, and Kafka using the Microcks Helm charts, but we have a warning saying yeah, that this is for convenient purpose only. These components should not be considered production ready, and definitely the best way to go, I would say the good way to go is to use your own selected charts for those components. Could be Bitnami, it could be those who are provided by Red Hat with official support if you want. We don't care, but at least use the and set up a production ready dependency component and then install Microcks to use this infrastructure. So I think it's a sane way for us to pursue on this way, providing a component, ready to use component for because that's convenient, but we don't want to provide something that looks like production ready.
Yeah, and I have added a comment because we have had a description of the process to install MongoDB Bitnami from a mentee last year. It's within the community repo again, so maintained by the community, not part of the core project. Not sure that is still relevant and working based on latest Bitnami changes. So, but that's where you can contribute as well. To if you would like to use Bitnami, MongoDB, or as Laurent said, any other flavors, please contribute to the community repo. Explain how you set it up, and help to maintain it because that's something that we think that it need to be managed by the community, not part of the core Microcks component.
Yes. Maybe I'm gonna just put this comment here and close this one.
Yeah, because as Laurent said, and I think it's important for people to understand that, especially if it's not clear, but it's the conversation we have had quite a few times already, let's say. We, as a community and open source project, focus on the core component. The way you're going to deploy it in production at scale within your organization, that's where, let's say, you need to do your part of the work and decide which MongoDB version you're going to use. If you have a Microcks centralized installation, the way you're going to tune MongoDB as well, because the one we provide is not tuned at all. There's no MongoDB index and anything like that in order to handle a huge amount of load. That's some stuff that are described within the community repo from a MongoDB tuning point of view. But same for Keycloak, same for all the other components, let's say, which are not tightly linked with the Microcks features and core components, let's say, and core engine.
Best effort, yes. Brings up. Okay, that's it. And by the way, so this work has been done from MongoDB here, Bitnami. If you have the same thing for Keycloak, if you, yeah, feel free to contribute. We're really happy to also have it in the community section. I'm looking at the clock, 52, so we are not being able to
Yeah.
address everything. Here, I think we should close this one because it has been documented. So, okay. Maybe just
Yeah.
finalize on these two ones here.
Big topics. Yeah.
Big topic. So data contract mocks. So this was here again a community request about supporting data contracts. So you may know that data contracts are, let's say, the sister specification from OpenAPI and Async API, but focused on file exchanges. So let's imagine you are moving or you're providing a file through S3 buckets, through an FTP server, through Google Cloud Storage, whatever, and you want to describe the structure of the file. So in that case, you may use data contract for this. And so I definitely think that it really makes sense for Microcks to implement this one because this will mean that we will cover the three main different ways of doing integrations, services, asynchronous events, but also batch files typically. And so this is some things I really like to address during this summer and maybe in the Microcks 1.16. So if you have some interest in this, if you want to help on this, please feel free to raise your hand to put a comment in the in the issue, and I will definitely help and provide guidelines if you want to help us on this way.
Yeah, this is, what I was saying previously, this is typically the kind of topic which is, let's say, quite huge to code, new feature, completely new stuff, but completely makes sense regarding Microc's purpose and focus of mocking and testing. And that's, the kind of innovation we can sometimes work during the summertime. I know
Yeah,
Laurent is very active in the summertime when he's not in vacation. He's doing some quite crazy innovative coding on new features, and that could be part of it. But again, uh, if you need that, if you think that it's a good idea, but especially if you are planning to use it within your organization, tell us and provide and help us to make it happen, and especially to test that it's working when it's going to be released, of course, as efficiently as you expect based on your usages and so on. That's really, really what we are missing for some of those new big feature requests, let's say.
yeah, exactly.
And it's
And
exactly the same one for Bruno, clearly.
exactly. So this was last year. Some people asked for native support of Bruno collection in Microcks. Something that was not possible at this moment in September because Bruno was not yet supporting adding request and response examples in collections. So we were just watching this PR or this issue on the Bruno side. So since then, we also had a pull request, if I remember correctly, that was about Bruno. But not really Bruno, because in the meantime, Bruno also started a very interesting initiative, in my opinion, that is called Open Collection. And I think the point of Open Collection is to provide, let's say, an open standard for the way collections files are structured. And so I had a lot of questions here. Is it related to Bruno collections? How open collections differ or not from Bruno collection? How do you want to use it? Could you provide examples and so on? And this PR was then closed 6 days just after. And so we are, let's say, desperately waiting for someone that would clearly explain what does it mean to have Bruno support? How do you structure a Bruno collection? What's the difference between Bruno and an open collection? And so on and so forth. And here again, we are really open to have this in Microcks, just looking for someone to being able to push this, to test this, to use it for real. We don't want to have features that just sit on the shelf and that are waiting here to be picked. So we really want to have a champion for each feature. So if you're interested, if you are using Bruno, interested in reusing your Bruno collection in Microcks, really, this is a call. Just jump in the discussion, provide a few information on the way you'd like to use it with a sample, with some basic explanation, and then yes, propose helps, and we will really be happy to have some help.
Clearly the topic, and we say it again and again, we need you on this type of new features. We need you, and I think it's also, especially the PR, Laurent. I think it's a good illustration as well, and something I think we can share, because as maintainers we receive a lot of requests, a lot of DM on all the channel communication channel on people who would like to contribute to Microcks and are, let's say, new within the community or sometime open source contribution, which is great. And we like and love to help and onboard. But as a recommendation, if you are joining Microcks, if you would like to contribute to it, but you are not using Microcks within your organization, Microcks at scale, and let's say you focus on contributing and adding your your stone within the Microcks project, don't pick and choose this type of issue to start with. That's what you showcase, Laurent. The PR we receive is clearly from someone, and we really enjoy and like this type of people as well, who like to contribute, but who are not using Microcks today. And this type of features is too tricky, too complicated for just contributing to some code and move on something else. If you're a new contributor, junior, or coming in Microcks as a new contributor, please pick and choose some stuff which are, I'm not going to say easier, but at least less sensitive, because here we need commitment from people who are using it for the long term.
Yeah.
And that I think it's important to clearly explain, and also explain why we cannot accept PR from people who have, some of them have never tested Microcks before, and this is very too sensitive and tricky to accept that. There's plenty of other topic on which you can clearly raise PR, provide changes which are not as disruptive, let's say, as adding a new component on a new feature like this one. So by saying that, I strongly encourage everybody to contribute. Please keep going, keep joining the community, especially as junior and so on, but pick and choose something that is not as sensitive as those big new feature requests. And for this big feature requests, waiting for more commitment from adopters to make it happen. More than happy to follow up. I think we raised, let's say, already an hour. I noticed as well that Destiny has joined us. So thanks for joining, Destiny. For the one who don't know, Destiny is the current LFX mentee for the Microcks CLI project that has been submitted and that is clearly managed by Arsh and Vaishnav. We are more or less in shadow, Laurent and I, on that topic, and sorry for that, Destiny, because I know that you have not seen us a lot on the meeting that you are scheduled with them, but we follow and track that. And I hope, Destiny, that maybe, because here it's quite short, for the next community meeting, or at least when you are ready, tell us up front, but you can also present what you are working on, what you have started to be able to showcase and deliver on the project you are taking care about.
Yeah, thank you, Yashin, Laurent. So, I mean, we've done some great work so far. So maybe on our next community call, we'll do some presentation around work we are doing there. So, yeah, I think that's basically it. But unrelated, I wanted to also raise if it's possible for us to have maybe, I mean, just the way we have this triage call now, like maybe have it across other repo, or maybe even a sense of like contributions, like first time contributions, because I mean I see a lot of PROs when an issue have not been triage, like it have not been accepted, or there have not been a conclusion on an issue, but the PROs is already out, right? So maybe a should it be like just a video that explains, or maybe on the community repo that explain how contributing to open source works, right? I mean, from what I know so far is if you see an issue, you raise it, then wait for it to be accepted. Maybe a maintainer asks you some couple of questions for you to validate it and test it if it's worth it. Then you raise a PR. But that's not really the case currently, especially in the CLI, where there are issues raised and there are PRs raised alongside. Like the issue is just like a yeah.
Now, I think you raise an important point. And to be honest, we just discussed right before this community meeting this specific topic with Laure. And thanks for raising it. I think what you are sharing, it's clearly the case, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's currently mainly on the Microcks CLI repo and sub-project. I'm not saying that it's perfect on all the other project or the other topic. As you have seen, we have done a triage on starting to do it publicly on the Microcks main repo, and I think it's nice, fair, and also maybe certainly a good practice that we need to keep from a maintainer and for the community meeting. And I think it could be great to do exactly the same for the Microcks CLI, because yes, we notice that there's quite a lot of pending issues and PR, and we, like you, think that is something that we can clearly, strongly improve. And we are sorry clearly for the people who have joined the conversation and raised PR and are waiting. We received quite a lot of requests on, I'm waiting for my PR to be reviewed for weeks or months. We're very sorry for that. Tell us a destiny, and clearly we are fully transparent on that. If you think that it's global on the Microcks organization or on a few sub-project, and let's see all together how we can make it better. And maybe one good idea, and Laurent, let's discuss with Arsh on that. Maybe we can also do a triage, public triage on the next community meeting, fully dedicated on the Microcks CLI. I think that's where we are most of the pending, let's say, PR and interaction. And again, everybody, you all need to remember, being a maintainer, being a code owner on a sub-project is a huge amount of work. Arsh is doing his best. He's a mentor, he's a code owner on the Microcks CLI, but he also has a daily job. And, open source community is always, very tricky and demand quite a lot of time. So let's see how we can improve that. Let's see how we can help as well on the Microcks CLI. And let's suggest, if it's possible, to to, let's say, do a public triage on the Microcks CLI, or at least doing async on that to make it, let's say, to reduce the backlog, because we notice that there is maybe a big one, especially on this sub product. But again, if you notice that on any other product, tell us, and don't be shy. Tell us. We're not going to be. We know that people are not flaming us. They are just, let's say, raising concern, which is very fair, and we love feedback. So don't hesitate. And then back to your point, Destiny, on your project, yes, more than happy to have a dedicated time on next community meeting to you and what you're working on. Just check the next, the next community meeting is in 2 weeks. That's going to be end of the afternoon, so not the same hour as today. If it's fine with you, tell us, and we will more than happy to dedicate it, or it could be the hour if you have any a huge amount of stuff to share, because the topic you're working on is something we really like, and we know that a lot of adopters and community members will be more than happy to use your the project. And I don't want to tell exactly what it is. I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that was a different style, let's say, of a community meeting, and I think this public triage is something that maybe we may need to do, maybe not all the time, but do more often. So thanks for raising those points. Let's keep going, keep moving. And for the one who are taking PTOs on vacation, enjoy. And for the others, keep going. And remember, India, mid of August, if you are local, please contact me. I'm going to be more than happy to give stickers and have a open source conversation with everybody who is local. All right, thanks a lot, and stay tuned. Recording for the one who have not been able to see us live and join us live will be same day, same hour next week. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.